Well, good Sunday morning. I'm Jaden Jefferson, and welcome to this week's Community Focus. Now, obviously, this week we're taking a break from the election because we all probably know what happened. So now we're going to put the focus on mental health. And really, this is a challenging time for a lot of people. So joining me right now is Erin Wiley with the Willow Center. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, first, give me an idea because this has been a stressful time for a lot of people. So, to decompress from all of the action of the last week or last few months, what's a good way to start?
If people are looking to decompress, I think that we need to look at what we typically use as coping skills and figure out if they're healthy or not. If you're someone who decompresses by zoning out and watching Netflix or TikTok, but you know that you over rely on that and you do it for like too long, like 3 hours, and you should probably choose something else then if you're looking to really decompress, like not getting stuck in the same bad habits of losing ourselves in things. Like if it's something like walking that you do, that's probably a healthier choice. So I think just looking at your time and how you spend your free time and aspiring to use it in ways that are healthy for you is probably a good start.
And decompressing definitely is something that I've been trying to do more often. And unfortunately, I become one of those people who decompresses by spending most of the time streaming. So
Same. I'm a fan of TikTok, Jaden.
I know a few people. I'm not one of them yet. So we'll see
Stay
what
away,
happens.
stay away as long as you can.
And that's definitely the thing, too. I mean, we're going to be spending more time indoors because it's been getting darker earlier. So, how are
Mhm.
we going to be able to have and partake in activities that are good for us, even with it being darker?
Sure. So I think one thing we have to consider in the darker months is that we can still be as active as we are in the summer. It just looks differently. For example, you can still have social gatherings. You can still get together with friends. Maybe you hang out in a backyard, drink lemonade, and watch your kids play every Friday all summer. You can still get together in your houses. It's just less convenient because people are cold. They don't want to get all bundled up. They don't want to drive across town in the snow, but you can still do those things. I, even in the last couple of years, have aspired myself to sometimes just put on a winter coat and boots and go for a walk outside, even though that's so counterintuitive because you're like, why would I walk outside when it's 43 degrees? But if it's even remotely sunny, even if it's cloudy, you're going to get more lux units of light in your eyes being outdoors on a cloudy day than you are inside with all the lights turned on. And that's really important for circadian rhythms, for regulating melatonin, for helping you have good sleep, all of which combine to us being happier and healthier and not struggling with depression.
Definitely. And seasonal depression is a real thing that a lot of us experience when it gets darker earlier because, again, we're reducing what we're usually doing. So that's
Mhm.
definitely something that people are going to be dealing with. So, what are some other ways to combat that?
Sure. Beside getting outside, vitamin D supplements, I'm not a medical doctor, so people should talk to their family doctor. But a lot of people in northern areas take vitamin D because we don't have as much sun on our skin. And so our body doesn't produce vitamin D like it should. And that's really important for keeping us in a happy mental space where we're not depressed. There are some foods that are great to eat that contain the building blocks of chemical compounds like serotonin that help us feel good. And those include green leafy vegetables, dairy, and turkey. So making sure that you are, even if you're, eating some cookies or pie because it's winter, that you are still trying to get some healthy foods in your body. Movement is really fantastic for helping people combat feeling sluggish and depressed. And I'm a big fan of sunlight whenever and however you can get it. On really cold weeks, months, if the sun is out, I will always sit in a window and try to get my face in the light and have it on my body. And even like just on your eyelids, just your face knowing, your eyes realizing that the sun is there is great for you. So get in the sun when you can.
I love that feeling. And I don't know how many more days we're going to have left when we can just sit down there and do that. That was
I,
a lot of my,
two, I think two.
yeah, they're getting very few and I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
But coming out of the pandemic, what have you seen in relation to people's mental health? Has the situation gotten better, or are we still in a worse place than we were before the pandemic?
Sure. I would say it depends on who the person is. Some people who have really high stress jobs and were able to kind of slow down for a while and be with their families in ways that they haven't been able to for a long time, found it refreshing. But even then, when they say like, oh, I enjoyed it, it was good to be home, we know from research it's not good for people to be alienated from other people and separated for a long time. So that's not even always great, even if people thought it was great. There was a loss of so much. I mean, certainly a loss of life. And so almost everyone knows someone, often older, but not always, grandparents and people who passed away. So I would say that compared to before the pandemic, many more people are struggling much more than before, because now we've gone through 2.5 years of not seeing family, not traveling. Of course, we've gotten back to that a lot in the last maybe 6 to 9 months, but 2 years of that is a long time. And that is hard on like your emotional part of yourself to be separated, to have a complete change in routine, to feel kind of worried, scared, nervous, or confused about the future or what's happening. That's a lot of stress to be under for a long time. So I do think more people are struggling more than ever before.
And if you had some words of wisdom for people that are still struggling, and a lot of us are, what is that?
I would say a couple things. One, of course, I'm going to suggest to people that you try to find a therapist. They are very difficult to find right now because there is such a shortage. At the Willow Center, if this is someone who's catching this locally in the Toledo area, we are in the process of hiring, I think, between 6 and 9 new therapists right now. So we actually will have openings where we have barely had any for 2.5 years. So people actually finding a therapist with whom they can connect, whether it's in person or online. Other than that, what I would tell people, and it's going to sound counterintuitive, but if you're struggling and you're feeling sad or irritable or angry or depressed, I think spending some time sitting with your emotions and just letting yourself kind of wander mentally through, why am I struggling? What am I so mad at? Why do I feel so irritable? And not doing what we all typically do, which is go eat a bunch of ice cream, call a friend, get online and look at stuff, buy stuff on Amazon. We're all running away from feeling uncomfortable by doing things that are fun and exciting, but not always great for us. And the real challenge, I think, is to sit with the discomfort and explore it, because that's a way to work through it and hopefully get beyond it in a healthier way.
And they're called feelings. It's in the name. Feel them.
That's absolutely right. But boy, they're not comfortable. And I mean, I'm a therapist,
sure.
and I don't like feeling bad. No one likes to feel bad, right? But it is so productive if you can train yourself little by little to do it, because you will learn so much about your inner self and why you're motivated and what happens emotionally to you. And then you can change your life in ways that makes you much healthier, which usually leads to people being much happier.
For sure. And that is definitely some wonderful advice. Erin Wiley of the Willow Center, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.